They Shook Hands, Year 1, Chapter 17, Part 2. Well, tell Professor Snape, Draco decided. Utterly preposterous, Tracy objected. He's still a suspect. He's no more guilty than I am, Millie declared. And you have ironclad proof, do you, Pansy? Asked sarcastically. You're 100% sure of his innocence. Obviously such proof existed. We could just go there troubles for him, Dio said. I can't conceive how whoever could would be Snape, but the possibility is there, however remote. So what do we do, Daphne just asked. We're stuck in the middle. We go to the headmaster, Theo said. If all your protests met that suggestion, quiet, he said, raising his voice to be heard. I don't think much of the Muggle lover either, but Dumbledore's the greatest wizard of our age. You say he's the only one you know who was ever afraid of. Back during the war, Hogwarts was the only place that who must not be named ever attacked. As long as Dumbledore is here, you know who wouldn't dare to come after the stone, Tracy said. This is the matter of the magical defenses. We don't know them, but you can bet the Snape would never tell Quirrell how to solve this test. The stone is safe, Harry decided. We should go to Dumbledore anyway. I think you ought to hear what the Centaur told us. Well, what, you know who was after the stone, Pansy scorned? I'm sure he already knows that. Why do you think the stone was moved here from Gringotts? Don't forget, they have dragons at Gringotts. They all consider that. Pansy is right, too, Draco said. What are we going to tell Dumbledore that he doesn't already know? So what do we do, Millie asked, kicking at the leg of her desk. We can't do anything, Daphne answered. We just have to trust Dumbledore to take care of it. I think we can trust him, Harry said. He's always opposed you know who. Who could take care of the stone better? Probably no one, Theo agreed. He pulled out his Toshin's text. Now, I think we've about exhausted this conversation. Harry, tell me about the brood of Asphodel. Convinced that Dumbledore had the situation under control, they didn't let it bother them anymore. Harry managed to shake off the worry that Voldemort was lurking right around the corner, ready to snatch the stone and murder him in the night. After a conversation, the Slytherins all devoted all their non-classroom time to studying. Their exams took place beginning the following Monday. With summer well started, the heat was mildly uncomfortable. More so the large classroom they sat in the written examinations for all their subjects. They had been given special quills and with the anti-cheating charm just for the occasion. In addition to the writing tests, they practical examinations. Professor Philip called them into his classroom at one of the time to see if they could make a pineapple tap dance across his desk. Only McGonagall was watching it with the steely gaze. They attempted to turn the field mouse to a snuff box. Points were given for how pretty the box was, but taken away if it still had whiskers. Professor Snape's exam was a bit ironic. They had to remember how Brett brew a forgetfulness potion. The finals of the exam was on Wednesday. Harry cheered his friends Professor Vincent ordered them to lay down their quills and roll up their parchment. The agonizing hour answering questions about batty old wizards and goblin uprisings was ended, and they were gloriously free for a whole week until their marks came back. That was much easier than I thought. Here, Granger saying as the crowd of students made their way out to the sunny grounds. I need have learned about the uprising of Elfric the Eager, the 1637 Werewolf Code of Conduct. God, her voice is so prissy and stuck up. He said as much as he could studying for this exam, and still feared what sort of mark he would receive. He looked over at Draco, tipped his head in Granger's direction. Harry rolled his eyes, prompted Draco to smile. Outside the first year's lounged about in the warm June weather. They sprawled about in the shade under a tree. Down by the lake, they could see the twin Weasley brothers tickling the tentacles of the giant squid. I hope it eats them, Draco said aimlessly, pulling apart blades of grass. Could happen to uglier people. Confident Dumbledore had everything well taken care of, let the matter of the Philosopher's Stone drop in favor of studying, preparing, and revising. Now that too was behind them, and they were free to just be kids again. They made small talk about nothing at all. They played games. The afternoon was very lazy and indulgent. It was finally drawing towards tea time when Harry felt intense pain in his scar. He clapped his hands to his forehead with a startled exclamation. Harry, what's wrong? Draco asked. He looked down and looked up at Harry's face. My scar, he breathed with the pain, burning. It's been fine since the forest, Theo said. Why is it hurting all of a sudden? Harry felt like he was back in his nightmares. All he could think about was the shadow man, Voldemort, who was after the stone. He rubbed the scar, trying to ease the pain. It's warning, she said, sure without knowing why. Danger was coming. Pansy was eyeing him suspiciously. You sound strange, Harry. Maybe you should go to Madame Pomfrey. He shook his head. I'm not ill, he said. I can't stay in the hospital wing. Voldemort is coming. I can't let him get the stone. All of his friends winced as he spoke the forbidden name. He was past worrying about their delicate ears for the moment. Quirrell must have found out how to get past Fluffy, he said. He took off for Hagrid's hut with his friends trying to catch up. Hagrid opened up. Harry half shouted, pounding on the door. We need to talk to you. Talk to me, eh? The big man said, opening the door to his home. More like he wanted to be hex me. Never mind that, Harry said. So you met someone in a hooded cloak? When? More like you wanted to hex me. Never mind that, Harry said. Have you told anyone about Fluffy? Anybody in a hooded cloak, maybe? Hagrid frowned. Why you be wanting to know about that fur? I haven't been meeting no strangers in no cloaks recently. Recently, Daphne pounced on his words, so you have met someone in a hooded cloak. When? Back when I won that little thing in the card game, he said. I didn't think much of it. Lots of folk in the hogs he had to keep their hoods up. It's not a savory sort of place, but there's no card playing at the Three Broomsticks. The egg, Theo exclaimed. Of course, how could we have been so stupid? It was just too much coincidence to be trusted. Hagrid always wanted the dragon more than anything, right? This spell just happens to show up there with one when you do. It's too good to be true. Did you talk to him, Hagrid? Harry asked. Did you say anything about the school? I might have, Hagrid said, his eyes floating. I told him what I do. He asked about the creatures I keep. I mentioned wanting a dragon ever since I was a boy. He frowned, looking at those as I was thinking very hard. It's all kind of fuzzy. He kept buying me drinks, you know. Once I told him about the dragon, he showed me this egg and asked I would like to play cards for it. Double check to make sure I could handle it. I did handle it. I told him after handling Fluffy, a dragon would be easy. Was he interested in Fluffy? Millie pressed him. Oh yeah, of course he were. It's not often you get to hear about a three-headed dog. I told him Fluffy's a real sweetheart. If you just play some music, he'll go right to sleep. That's it, Draco cried. Hagrid looked horrified. No, he exclaimed. I shouldn't have told you that, he spluttered. Forget that, please. Hey, where are you going? Where's Dumbledore's office? Harry shouted as they ran. He needs to hear about this. Security measures have been compromised. Nobody knew where the office was. None of their teachers were to be found either. Most of them were probably busy grading exam papers. One Harry knew was planning to get past Puffy and steal the Philosopher's Stone. Instead of curse, he turned once Dirk deadly use. It was all going so horribly wrong. He went down to the dungeons under his dorm room, down in his bed. He sat staring at his invisibility cloak hanging from the foot of the bed, pondering what to do. The pain in his scar receded somewhat, but was still very much there. He thought long and hard, trying to make up his mind to do what he knew needed to be done. Finally, he rose to his feet as the bell tolled curfew. He flung the cloak about his shoulders. I'm going after the stone, he said to his friends who had been sitting with him in silence. It's only to keep it safe. I can't just feel that it's not protected anymore. Draco also got to his feet. I'm going too. Me as well, Theo said. We'll watch your back, Harry, said Goyle, said, nodding at Crabbe. You're not going without me, Tracy told him. Someone has to keep an eye on Theo, panted obnoxiously. And someone needs to make sure you two don't kill each other, Millie laughed. Count me in. Daphne, Tracy asked. Daphne shrugged. The more the merrier. Harry didn't object. He knew that he had to go. His friends wanted to come with him. They had to trust him to know their business. He worthily led them into the common room, out into the corridor, and up to the third floor. For the whole walk they were silent, Harry scouting ahead in his wonderful cloak, finding they were before the forbidden door. Music suits the savage beast, Theo reminded them, so he starts singing as soon as the door opens. Got it? Jerusalem. Alohomora, Millie opened the lock. She pulled it open, they scurried inside. Fluffy just as huge as Harry remembered. All three egg heads locked onto them, three horrible noses sniffing at them, three rumbling growls warning them away. And did those feet in ancient times walk upon England's mountains green? Theo said, sounding loudly. Was the holy lamp of God on England's pleasant pastures seen? Draco joined in. And did the countenance divine shine forth upon our clouded hills? Harry bawled. For from the first song, no, Fluffy's eyelids had gotten heavy. By the third line, the growls had ceased, and the great beast was nodding his head in time to the music. And was Jerusalem built here among these dark satanic mills? Pansy, Millie, Daphne, and Tracy were singing too. Now too. Bring me my bow of burning gold, bring me my arrows of desire, bring me my spear, O clouds unfold, bring me my chariot of fire, I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. Green and pleasant land. Fluffy tottered from side to side and then fell to his knees before slumping to the ground. Swords began to drown out their singing, and they knew he was asleep. The dog's hot breath washed over them, and drool slid from his mouths. Harry looked around. Other than the way that they had come in, there appeared to be no exit from the room. He glanced at his friends and gestured to the four walls. Theo shrugged, Draco looked puzzled. There, Harry spied the trapdoor. He tugged at the iron ring, but couldn't budge it. Crabbe and Goyle nudged him out of the way and lifted it easily. The hole it revealed was dark and foreboding. No stairs, Harry said, pitching his voice under the singing which had begun anew. Goyle peered down into the darkness. If there is a bed of spikes at the bottom of this hole, I'm going to be very upset, he said. Without further ado, he hopped lightly into the square of blackness and vanished from sight. Yar! Okay, so they shook hands, year 1, chapter 17. Take care, everybody.